Hello, everybody. Carl White here in the not-so-secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And I'm joined today by Miss Awesomeness herself, Jennifer Singh. And Jennifer works in Jeff Stempler's office, one of our Freedom Club members. And Jennifer, your official title is Relationship Manager?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. I am the relationship manager here.
Yeah. So you said before we hit the button to start this, you said my job is to make people like us.
Yes. I just
yeah.
that, but that's what I do. I get our realtors and clients to feel great about the entire process.
Yeah, I like that. And we had talked, and just for complete information, you guys are based just outside of Washington, D.C., so that's the area of the country that you're in. And we have this thing that we call we call it this tongue-in-cheek. We call it the Stalker book,
yes.
Which is a tracking book to keep track of who we're meeting with and some notes about them and where we at in the process and what kind of deals do they refer over and how many do they refer over, just a tracking mechanism. And you manage the tracking book or Stalker book, or whatever you want to call it, for Jeff, correct?
Yes, I call it the magic binder because we took the one that y'all had on various places, put a bunch of stuff together so it's all in a central spot, and that's where the magic happens.
Now on yours, it's and we're going to show examples and how you guys. I agree, you made improvements on it. Yours, it's a physical book or is it a digital book?
It is completely a physical book, but it has digital elements in that some of the things and some of the activities we track online just because there's simply not enough paper in the world for that. But it all comes back to the book so that if anybody needs to, if they're lost, they don't know what's going on, anybody can come and grab this binder. It's always on my desk and they know exactly what's going on. That's
all right.
the goal.
So somebody that's watching this today, right about this point, they're deciding, do I finish watching? Is this something that'll help me? Yeah. Or do I already have this and, I got something else I can work on, which either way is totally cool. But
right.
So if we're telling somebody, which I think this is like everybody should watch this, I really believe that. So the reason somebody should watch this today, Jennifer, and what we're going to teach them is because
we got back from our first 3-day event, and I joke that we call it the fire hose of awesomeness, the information. And there were so many things, and we wanted to do all of them, and we wanted to do them right then. But then we started getting overwhelmed. It's like, okay, well, we have to do our 5 notes a day. We have to do this. We have to do that. Where was the script for this? Where was the script for that? It's a way of taking all of that information for us and putting it in a central location so that we could do it, and we had a guide and a plan, and we knew what we were doing and how to do it, and you could just come in and not go spend every day going, okay, today is the day I do the just ask calls. Where do I do that? Let me go find those scripts. Who am I? It's all in a central location. And it also means if anybody's out at any point, somebody can grab this and it's a reference guide. They can take it with them and boom, anybody can pick up anybody's job seamlessly and they all know what's going on.
So whether they called in sick or they're going on vacation for the week, or maybe they've moved and taken on another position somewhere.
Right.
New person walks in, here's what I do, here's the script.
And from day one, you can have success. And it was very helpful for us when we came back and from our first 3-day, and it was how can we get this into action as fast as possible? It's the jumpstart guide for us.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's just jump right into this. I know to make this easy to go over, you put this in kind of a PowerPoint thing. So why don't you just take over and teach me a great one.
We're gonna do this. So let's go here. We're gonna go. Wait, let me get the right one. There. Okay. So share. Okay. So yes, we talked about the fire hose of awesomeness, and there was just so much information, and we wanted to make it usable for ourselves. And then I brought it to another Freedom Club event and started showing other people, and I realized there was real need for this for other people who were feeling like us. Like, how do we enact all of it? I kind of guidepost for us. Many people have heard the SMART goals criteria. When you're making goals, you make them specific and measurable, assignable, relevant, and time-based. Same thing. It's just following along with that. And also we found if we aren't tracking something, it's not happening. If you can't track it, it's just too easy to let it go. So we started with the Steady Eddie form that I know a lot of Freedom Club people use, and it's the greatest, from Mr. Eddie Shang, and we made it our own.
And so for somebody that just getting, we might have some people that watch this, they just got started, they're just getting started with the Freedom Club or the mortgage marketing animals. So just briefly, what is the Steady Eddie?
Let me show you. So this is our version of the Steady Eddie, and we showed that page 1 is do the work, and then page 2, which I'll show you in a second, is see the results. And what it is the central thing of tracking everything that we started with. We, up here at the top, you can see the top goals for the next 30 days. And also big wins, because I think it is important, because sometimes you feel like you're just a rat on a wheel and in the little cage, and you're just running. Just say, yeah, we're doing stuff. Look at the difference. Look what we've done and how we've won. And it's just as important, I think, to track your goals as it is to track the success that you've had. So day 1, Monday, Thor's hammer call. And also we found, we were having all these conversations, but sometimes it was too easy to forget to ask. Do the basic ask. The key thing of that conversation, you're not just calling to say, hey, happy Monday. You're saying, hey, happy Monday. Do you have any clients?
Yeah, that's exactly
and
right.
just that simple, having that ask, yes or no, that was very key to us.
And so that little block there.
The Monday block right here at the top, right?
Okay, so we switched over, switch over to where you zoomed in on the form here. So we have our top goals.
Yes.
We have our big wins where we pat ourselves on the back.
Yes.
And then on the Thor's hammer, I love the way you have here, we have the conversation. Did we ask for the business?
Yes, and it was, because you'd think, well, that's the purpose of Thor's hammer, but simply having that yes or no there, we found was so critical to making sure it actually happened. And also, we also had up here our goal, 13 conversations, and how critical that was. It's not just making the calls, it's actually talking to people. Because some days it feels like you make 13 calls, you have 13 conversations. Other days it feels like you make 100 calls and you have 13 conversations because people are away, employees, all that good stuff.
And then so beside that, you have text or emails? Yeah,
because sometimes, some realtors have said, we know them well, and have said, hey, just text me or just send me an email every now and then. I know you're there, you're going to get all my clients, whatever,
Okay.
that kind of thing. And then we had the A-list client realtors, and those we call on Tuesdays. And those are people that we already have relationships with, but they don't have somebody currently in process. They're already great about referring. We appreciate it so much. So we just want to stay in touch with them.
And same thing, did I ask for the business? Yes, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's 1 through 20.
Yes, but sometimes it's more than that. Just right again, we go back to the 13 calls.
Page 2, got it. Okay.
And for us, Jeff makes these calls. Jeff makes the Thor's hammers on Monday.
Which is the loan officer.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Now Tuesday we have our Just Ask calls as well, and I've made a new sheet for those, and I'll show you that in a couple minutes. But for us, I make these calls, and it's simple. Give them the update. I call the buyer's agent, listing agent, and the buyer, co-borrower, and I have a conversation with them, and just same thing. I'm giving them an update. And the same thing, same goal. The goals for that one, while we say the goal is 13, it kind of just depends on how many people we have processed that time. Okay. The goal for Tuesday Just Ask calls, call everybody that has to be called. Wednesday, past client calls, same thing. Are we asking them for the referrals? And we do 2 letters a week. For these 2 letters of everybody's last name. So I think this week we've made it through the cycle, and so now we're back to A and B last names this week. Nice and easy. And then Thursday are our pre-approved and looking clients, and also hot prospects. These are leads that we have been given, but they have not submitted an application yet, and we're just touching base with them. And what we have found with this, we had to change this form actually a little bit, and I'm going to show you in a few minutes the abbreviated form, because Thursday wasn't it. This is good for the check-in, but if a client tells us on a Thursday conversation, I'm going out to look this weekend, they need a call on Monday. Hey, how did the looking go? It was too late to wait till Thursday to check in with those clients. The bare minimum once a week.
I like that. So would you, on those people, that's a great idea. So on Thursday, when we're doing the pre-approved looking and we know they're out looking for a place, make sure I understood you. Did you call again on Monday? How'd the house hunting go?
Yes. If
so these people might be the hot pre-approved looking might get 2 calls a week.
Right. And it also depends. If they tell me on Monday, yeah, we looked, it was all, you know, we're just going to take a week off. Okay, so then I'll call them next Thursday. I'm not going to. Okay. I joked. I was joking with a realtor yesterday. We try to, with these kind of clients, we try to be the good boyfriend. We want to be attentive but not annoying.
Yeah, the good boyfriend.
Yes.
Attentive but not annoying. So that's what you gals think of us, guys. Okay. It's all these years I've never known that. Now I know.
It's a very fine line. You have to.
Yeah, I see that.
The client.
So you're calling everybody at least once a week.
Bare minimum, yes.
And some of these twice a week on Monday and Thursday. Okay, cool. And I also see, again, you got the yes, no, are you asking for the business from them too? Yeah.
And then also with that, sometimes it's, if I've called a client that's pre-approved and it's out looking, but I've only gotten their voicemail for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I'm calling the realtor too to say, hey, what's going on? Have you heard something I haven't heard? And sometimes it's, you know, they're out of town or, you know, not looking right now or whatever it is.
Right. Just a heads up. They're falling off the radar. Is everything okay? Yeah,
I called one client last week and she's like, I'm on the beach in Hawaii. I was like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I want you to go look at something beautiful and have a great day. And tell me when you're back and I'm going to give you a call then. And she's like, I love you. And I was like, I know, we like each other.
Yeah.
I called but then that was another great touch point for me to convey that information to her realtor to say, oh, this is why, you know, Sue Bob hasn't called you in the past 2 weeks. She's been in Hawaii. She's not ignoring you. She's not gone off with another realtor. None of that.
Okay.
We also, over here on this side, we track our handwritten notes. And that's just because I write 98% of our notes, and most of the time Jeff Erling doesn't even know that they're happening because it's either referrals or something that, you know, I've seen on Facebook because I'm a friend.
How do you handle it? Like when you're writing his notes for him, obviously I'm assuming you write like a lady and he writes like a
I write with bad handwriting intentionally.
I got it. Okay, and so they're coming from him?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I got it. Okay, cool. Just write with bad handwriting. You're a crazy lady, aren't you?
We have the best copier machine in the world, and so like for the referral notes, I just have a stack of them already done. They look, anybody who sees them thinks they're brand new. I just fill in who we referred and the realtor's name, and boom, they're off they go. This copier is the best copier in the world. Nobody would ever know.
So you're just leaving so you're writing these thank you notes for the referral and just leaving a blank space for the names.
Right. So I just fill in
and
the name.
with the same ink pen going through and filling in the name.
And it looks completely natural and normal.
That's brilliant.
You actually get the notes done. Because if I'm having to originally write 25 notes a week,
it's not going to happen.
It's far too easy for that to get skipped. It doesn't. Yeah. It's critical. And then I have the blank ones in there for like something special or unusual that happened. But I've written for everything. It was great seeing you at the broker's. Thanks for referring. Just anything. I've gotten them written for any possible situation, so I can just go boom, boom, boom. But you have to have a good copier because otherwise it was fake. And if somebody knows it's fake, they're never going to trust you.
Yeah.
So I may have given it to friends of mine that are extremely attentive to details, we'll say. And I'm like, which one of these is fake? And they don't know. And if they don't know, no one will know. I trust me.
Nice.
Coffee appointments. This is when Jeff is talking to making Horace Hammer calls. Who did he schedule a coffee with? New coffee, and so it's on the calendar and such. Then coffee appointments held each week. Are we hitting the numbers that we want to hit for this? And then we just have a little weekly recap here. So then our second page is, as I like to call it, is the see the results. So we have our leads in here. Where did they come from? You know, if it was a realtor, what was the source of that realtor? You know, did we thank that realtor? Have they gotten the weekend? Have we received an application from them? And it's just simple as that. And then also, you know, who's under contract, who we got under contract, and who closed this week. Easy. But it's just, it's so nice when you're feeling like, oh, we're not making any progress. You know, I've got these sheets from back in April, and we can see the actual progress. Look, when we started in April, you were making, you know, 25 calls a week, and now you're making 120.
Yeah.
Your numbers were this, and now they're this. Oh, okay.
It's funny how there's that direct correlation by phone calls money, isn't it?
It is amazing. Like this summer when like we were out or on vacation and so the calls weren't being made, our numbers were down. It also gives us the accountability of saying, you can't go off and say, oh, well, you know, it's summer, so therefore you know, that's why we're not doing great right now. You know, it's the season or whatever. That doesn't work anymore because you can see, we've had great numbers this week. Nobody's buying a house in December, we were told. Nobody's going to buy a house over Christmas. We've had 3 people under contract this week. Somebody's buying a house. But then we realized after talking with our coach and such that we abbreviated the steady Eddie. Instead of having to write down everybody's name, we realized it was just so much more important. Can you see this? Are you seeing the abbreviated one?
I am. I'm seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Number of calls made. It doesn't matter which realtors we're calling so much as if we're making. I mean, we already have the list. It doesn't matter which on that list we're calling. It just matters how many we're calling. And that works really well for us. And it's the same information on the abbreviated one. It just you know, it just makes it quicker and easier.
The clip notes.
Yeah, it's a clip notes.
All right, cool.
Okay,
all right.
So here and show you a few other things that we have here in our binder. I'm sharing the right. Okay. In our binder, these are our Stalker sheets now that we have. And it tracks to make sure we're making our 13, you know, attempting to call 12 times to schedule that coffee. And once we have had it, we call 12 times after and ask for that first referral. Also, we have the information up here, the basic information. And then this was a quick reminder because Jeff takes these, he just pulls them out of the binder, each one, and takes them when he has that first coffee with people. One, it's helpful to have the photo there to find them in a busy coffee shop.
Good point.
It also reminds him to do the quick little follow-up task on the way out. To write a note in here, tell me anything he learned about them. To send that text 5 minutes after, like you recommend, to send a note, and that way I know to write the note, thank you for having coffee with me that same day, to remind him to send the email the date it needs, and then the smooth gift. So he finds out interesting information from them. I mean, literally, sometimes he'll come back and all I've got is, they like cruises. So I go and find a gift that's cruise related.
Like a book on the best cruises of the Mediterranean.
Exactly. One thing, he went and talked to a realtor recently, and she grew up in Maine, and she loves ice fishing. And I found this book. It was a lovely photo book, and it had some cookbook recipes, and it was about ice fishing in Maine. I sent it to her, and she got a note. She wrote Jeff a note and said, I think you might be more thoughtful than my own husband when it comes to gift giving. And that's our goal. Yeah, to pay attention. But it's to pay attention about, her husband needs more attention. But it's to
No, I know.
Yeah, you're not buying the generic thing. Nobody.
And so y'all print up this sheet with this information. Every real estate agent that he's meeting coffee with, he's got their name, their company. He knows whether or not they're married, kids, hobbies.
Right.
And the purpose of that is so that that's a little cheat sheet for him to look at.
Right.
So when he's asking questions, he's asking, number one, appropriate questions.
Exactly. Exactly.
and can kind of lead into what they're interested in.
Right, and realtors are not shy about this information. Most of this information I can glean from their Facebook page or their realtor bio. I don't even have to be friends with them on Facebook. It's just, realtors are not the shy type generally.
Right.
About sharing their
Good.
personal information.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Nice and easy. Also, we have scripts there each day, so that they can see. So when we first started out, it was like trying to know the right thing to say. So it was easy to just have them right there, right convenient, so you could just call easily.
And so you, so on the Stalker book, you're making your Monday calls, and the scripts are all right there in the Stalker book.
Right.
So that there's.
I'm going to see it if I'm talking.
Yes.
Have, what is it? The Monday tracker sheet, and then right next to that, the Monday script. It also means, like, if for some reason Jeff was going to be out and asked me to make the calls, I could make the calls and not feel like so awkward about calling, because I would know what to say.
Got it. That's a really smart answer. So how do you guys, I don't want to get off topic here.
Yeah.
How do you guys, like, so the Monday calls he makes, correct? Right. So the realtor Thor's Hammer. Yeah. The Tuesday updates, who's doing that?
I do those.
Okay. And the Wednesday past database, who's doing that?
Generally, he does those. He does it 90% of the time.
And then the Thursday, which in your case sometimes is also the Monday, the pre-approved looking, who does those? I do that. Okay, cool, very good.
And also, it's nice to have the sharing there, because no one feels particularly overwhelmed of feeling like all I'm going to do every day is on this item. Instead, we get to mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit. I like that, and I love the idea that you have here's Tuesday's calls in this book. Here's the scripts for Tuesday call. Here's Wednesday call. Here's the script for Wednesday call. That's brilliant.
Exactly. So you have it all in one central location, so you're not.
So really, which I've always thought is, for me anyway, an advantage of having a Stalker book is, like in your case, on the calls, the first from 9 to 11, the daily activity, it's all in this book. Right. There's no reason to open up your computer. And so we don't get the email notifications, we don't get the Facebook notifications, we don't have the NASCAR fan page popping up, or things like that. And so that's always worked best for me. Is I got a phone, I got a yellow pad of paper to write the leads down on, and my Stalker book with the scripts, and I've got no computer, got no electronic thing other than my phone. Right. I love it. I love it, Jeff.
And I just like that. I created it such that anybody who gets them, they're like, where do I start? You can print this out, throw it in a book, and start. You don't have to wait. I can't make my calls yet. I don't have my script, or I don't know what I'm supposed to say. It takes out the excuses. The other thing I would add about having these scripts in here, though, is perfect is the enemy of done. I think that was a Tammyism. And yes. Because if you're sitting there going, I'm so worried I have to say the perfect thing off this script, that you're not calling as many people, stop it. Pick up the phone. You can't be so awkward. Trust me, if there's anything awkward, I'm the awkward person. I've said it, and it's okay. You'll just get through it.
Yes.
And speak to people well if you want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
And then ask them for the business.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's see. For our Tuesday Just Ask calls, this is our tracker sheet that we used for these, and I've got the closing dates on here, the address, loan amount, all the realtors that were supposed to be calling, did I speak to them, did what? And I found, while I'm supposed to be just asking for the business in these calls,
yes,
it was quite helpful for me, or it's quite helpful for me. I give our processor a buzz. We have about a 5-minute conversation on everybody who's in our database, and she gives me the latest.
Okay.
Or she'll, it could be something as simple. I let them know yesterday that we need these knocks. If you speak to them, just remind them to get those in.
Okay.
I don't know everything about the file, and I'll tell them honestly. I'm just calling to make sure you've got all your questions answered.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Yeah.
Okay. And I used to have a big old system and type it up, and now I just slap a Post-it note on each one for the weekly update on there. It works itself.
I like it. So that's what this blue thing, this old school thing, is. You get you're talking with a processor, She updates you on that file, you write it on a little sticky note, you put it on that one, you flip the page, she updates you on the next one, and then you take all those in, and there's your updates on each one. Yeah.
And that's also goes back to on Tuesdays is another reason not to open your computer, because it's so easy when you start making these calls and you hear about an issue, you open your computer and like, oh, I have to solve that issue, or I have to do this. Can't. I've got my book. I just write my notes in there of what needs to be done, and then I will follow up at the end after I've made all the calls.
Does Jeff know how lucky he is to have you on board? Does he,
Someday.
have you? And I know you're both blessed. You're blessed to have an awesome dude like him. I was just saying that as a.
I like my job. I love my job a lot. And it's good stuff. Wait, who's ever hearing me now? He just came back to the phone.
So now we have to say nice things.
Yeah. The other thing I found was very helpful is I added the space over to the right for transaction coordinators. We found, especially Redfin agents, they often have a transaction coordinator, and they're the ones who actually need information and need questions answered. And they don't.
So when they do have a transaction coordinator, is that who you update? Do you still update the agent also? So you do both. I like that.
Because I found the agents want to know, but they don't necessarily convey that information to the transaction coordinators.
Yes.
But also, I found transaction coordinators work with multiple realtors. So I try to build a relationship with them a lot. And then at the end, I say, I really like working with you. Which agents are you working with that are good? Because they know they want to deal with me again if they're going to have a transaction. So they'll say good things to their agent. And so we've been able to get meetings with agents we would have never gotten in because the transaction coordinator put in a good word with for us.
You're very smart.
They're my new secret referral source.
Yeah, that's very smart.
And they'll also tell me, you know, what they're like, you need to work with these agents. And sometimes I'm like, well, what about this one? No, you don't.
Yeah, I hear you.
Which will tell me a lot. I mean, they'll be rude, but they'll just like, no, you don't want to.
Yeah. And you know, I guess the other thing is they can give you a heads up when things aren't going so well with another lender. They can give you a little bit of a, heads up kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you've been calling on Bob, today would be a good day to call him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And generally, transaction coordinators are really fun people to talk to. I don't know why, but they, as a general, everyone I've liked a lot.
They're cordial. All right, cool.
On our past client calls,
yes,
we have found we use Mojo for those just because of.
I don't know what that is. So tell me what that is. Oh, it's a phone burner type product.
Exactly.
Perfect.
But the nice thing is you go through in each one after you make a call. If there is a referral, if it or if you have information, or if somebody had a new baby or whatever, you can just draw it in. And then at the end of calls on Wednesday, I can go through, pull a report for Jeff, and I can see every single note and anything I need to follow up with. I need to send a card. I need to do this. Or this is a referral, so I'll get it to our loan partner so he can make that initial call to start processing, that, or start working on that refinance or whatever comes out of that. We can put our scripts in there. We do that. But it works really well to make all this calls much faster. And Mojo Sales is just the one that our company provides. I don't have any particular affinity for that one, but we like it and it works, and it's free.
Yeah.
So for us.
Perfect. Yep.
The pre-approved and looking, these are we use Be in Touch. That's the CRM that we have, and it works for us. I like that we can track all the notes and we can see what everybody is doing anytime anybody has any contact with a client. So we can regularly show the love so somebody doesn't steal them. Originally, we started doing this on paper, and you just can't.
Too many.
The volume of leads coming in, you can't. So then we moved to Google Docs, which kind of worked, but then we outgrew it, and so now we're using Be in Touch. The important thing we found, though, is every time it has the ability to set tasks to remind us to follow up. And it's important that anytime we do anything and complete a task, we set a new task. Because otherwise, if we're not setting a task that says, in 3 days follow up or 4 days, it just is too easy to get forgotten. And we don't want anybody to ever fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
And we don't want a realtor, Jeff just calling somebody on Monday. He's like, oh, did you talk to that referral of mine? Well, he can go over here and look. Well, she left a voicemail and did this and did that, left voicemail for the realtor, So he can tell them that the reaching out that we have done. So that's pretty much it. I made a new, a quick download. It's just tiny URL / Jen's binder, and you can download it yourself. This is the cover of our binder, just the things that we need to remember that we have found should be central for us. You know, the frog that you tell us, the read. Because we were paying attention, we overheard a realtor tell another realtor, "Oh, this restaurant has great tuna fish," and Jeff had been trying to get coffee with Scott forever, couldn't. And he called him up one day and said, "Hey, let's go get tuna fish sandwiches. I've heard this place down the road from you is great." And the guy was like, "Oh, great. Tuna fish matters." And then also, you know, or my current action, get me the 5 referrals.
That kind of goes down to the Mr. Schmooze thing of
Exactly.
pay attention to what people's talking about. Yeah. What's the old saying? Enter the conversation that's already in their mind.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take, this isn't magic. This isn't hard. You just have to do the work. You know, you just have to, and pick up that's when I tell when I meet a new loan officer, they're like, "Oh, what would you say?" Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
When in doubt, pick up the phone. It's far less, any information is far less to get misconstrued. You can build a relationship. It's very hard to build a relationship on email.
Yeah. So Jennifer, I have to tell you, this has been a real delight. And part of the reason, so I had another part of my evil scheme here is I wanted people to see what a dynamic relationship manager feels like. Mm-hmm. And you are an amazing person. And so those of you that are watching this, I want you to watch like the energy and the ownership and the "this is mine" attitude that you have, Jennifer, which makes you very valuable to Jeff. So if you don't mind me asking just a couple questions about that. Like, how did you and Jeff get hooked up? Like, where did you find Jeff, or where did Jeff find you, or however you want to look at it?
Okay. So we both live in a very small town called Poolsville, Maryland. We actually live 2 blocks apart. I joke that like last Friday night, this is how small it is. He was out at a local restaurant and he sees my kids, because my kids were out with friends. He sends me a text. He's like, "You know where your kids are?" This is how small a town it is. I was at the time working very part-time for our local Chamber of Commerce. And Jeff got up one day at our Chamber of Commerce meeting and said, "I'm looking for somebody to do some part-time marketing for me, 10 hours a week." And I came up to him after the meeting and I said, "Well, I think that might be something I can do." I knew my kids were starting back at school, or were starting kindergarten, and I knew I needed to do something because I was a really good stay-at-home mom. I would not be a really good stay-at-home mom for kids that were gone all day. I needed something to do. And I highly recommend, if somebody is looking for a loan partner or anybody, consider these. There are a lot of moms out there that take off to become stay-at-home moms, and then when their kids start school, they want to start working again, and they can bring all these skill sets from their previous jobs to make this easy for them. And they're really good at getting a lot done in a short period of time. Multitasking is a mom's thing. Yeah. So anyway, I started working for Jeff 10 hours a week, and then I eventually resigned from the Chamber of Commerce. Still good friends there, great people there, and now I'm up to about 30-some hours a week. I'm still part-time, very hard about being part-time because I want to volunteer in my kids' school, and that's the most important thing to me. And so now, and now I'm licensed myself because Jeff said one too many times, "Oh, just go get licensed." And then I realized so much of there were so many things that I couldn't do and couldn't even say with the new licensing rules. It was just easier, and now I can have a more educated conversation. Yeah. And then because I do marketing, and it's very hard to do marketing if you don't know what you're talking about when you're marketing. Yeah. It's not, if you're selling steaks, it's a good thing you know what a steak looks like. Exactly. So, exactly. Well, Jennifer, this has been incredibly helpful. I really appreciate. I'm glad I get to share all the goodness. Oh, I'm glad you are too. It's an honor to have you and Jeff as part of what we're doing, and we love it. You guys just are exactly what we look for. People that accept other people sharing with you, and you take it, and then you tweak it, you make it even better, and then you share it back, and that's what this is all about. So I really, really, really appreciate you. This is outstanding. Can I make 2 requests for anybody who downloads this binder? If anybody else tweaks it, please share it with us, because we want to know what you're doing, because it's a great idea probably, and we want to make it ours. And number two, if you get somebody to set this up for you, give them lots of coffee, because it takes a lot when you get it first set up, but then it rocks and rolls and it makes it very easy for you and everybody else.
Outstanding. All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And for those of you who are watching, please reach out and give Jennifer some love. And we appreciate you guys for watching today. Jennifer and I know that you could be anywhere doing anything, that you would choose to spend this last half hour, 45 minutes with us is a true honor. So put this into action, make your calls, find a Jennifer, and Jeff says this one's not available. And we'll see you guys on the web. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.